Welcome to our channel Mystery Minds, where we try to unravel unsolved mysteries of the world. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most perplexing and enigmatic mysteries in the annals of unexplained events. On the night of February 2, 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers met their untimely demise in the desolate and freezing Ural Mountains in Soviet Russia. What started as a seemingly routine trek quickly devolved into a tragedy that has left investigators, researchers, and conspiracy theorists scratching their heads for decades. The expedition, led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old radio engineering student at the Ural Polytechnical Institute, was comprised of 8 men and 2 women. The group was well prepared and experienced, each member having undertaken numerous hikes and expeditions before. Their goal was to reach Otorten, a mountain in the northern Urals, and then make their way to Goro-Oiko-Chakar, a nearby mountain. Little did they know that this seemingly routine adventure would turn into a chilling enigma that would capture the world's imagination. The journey began on January 27, 1959, when the group boarded a train to the city of Ivdel. From there, they continued on to Vizhai, the last inhabited settlement before the wilderness of the Ural Mountains. On January 28, they began their trek into the icy expanse. By the time they reached the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, translated as Dead Mountain in Mansi, the local indigenous language, they were faced with challenging weather conditions and a harsh terrain. The group made camp on the slope of the mountain, but something went horribly wrong. What followed remains a puzzling sequence of events that has confounded investigators and inspired a myriad of theories, ranging from natural disasters to extraterrestrial encounters. The first signs of trouble emerged when the hikers' progress slowed. It was noted that the group deviated from their intended route and began to ascend the western slope of Kholat-Syakhl, a decision that has been a focal point of much speculation. Why would experienced hikers veer off course in such treacherous conditions? Some theories suggest that they may have been forced off their path by an impending threat, while others propose more supernatural explanations. On February 1, 1959, the group reached the base of the mountain, where they planned to set up camp before attempting the final ascent. However, as later investigations would reveal, the hikers never made it to their intended campsite. Something compelled them to cut into the mountain's slope for shelter. This decision, too, remains a mystery, as the hikers were experienced and familiar with setting up camp in open spaces. What could have driven them to dig a makeshift shelter in the snow-covered mountainside? It was when search parties were deployed to locate the missing hikers that the true extent of the tragedy became apparent. On February 26, the searchers discovered the abandoned and damaged tent on Kholat-Syakhl. The tent had been slashed open from the inside, and its contents, including warm clothing and shoes, were left behind. The footprints leading away from the tent told a haunting tale of desperation. The hikers, seemingly in a state of panic, had fled into the freezing night, wearing only light clothing. As the search continued, the first bodies were discovered. The remains of Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonashenko were found at the edge of the forest, near the remains of a makeshift fire. They were dressed only in their underwear, further adding to the mystery. The branches of nearby trees were broken, suggesting that the hikers had attempted to climb them, perhaps to get a better vantage point or to escape an unseen threat. The discovery of the next set of bodies intensified the horror of the situation. 3 more hikers, Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustam Slobodin, were found between the tent and the tree line. Their positions indicated that they were attempting to return to the tent, possibly to retrieve warm clothing or seek refuge. Their injuries, however, raised more questions than answers. Despite the freezing temperatures, some of the victims exhibited signs of paradoxical undressing, a phenomenon where individuals in severe hypothermia remove their clothing due to a sudden feeling of warmth. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains an open case, with no conclusive evidence pointing to a definitive explanation. Theories abound, but each one is met with its share of skepticism and unanswered questions. The true nature of what transpired on that cold February night in 1959 continues to elude investigators and capture the imagination of those fascinated by the unexplained. The Dyatlov Pass incident stands as a chilling reminder that even in the vastness of the wilderness, some mysteries may never be fully unraveled.